We'll start standing today, and then we're going to work a little bit with some weights. And if you don't have weights, you can use soup cans. And if you don't have blocks, you can use a blanket, but we will be using all of those things. So start standing well. We also are going to work a little bit on glide walking today. So glide walking is this really, the way we're almost built to walk. I'm always talking about how to stand well, sit well, walk well, lie down well. So that's what we're working with today. So let's work from the center body. Find that dantian that I'm always talking about. So 3 fingers together, other hand points to your belly button, and then take that right underneath here, and then lift up and in. So just lifting up and in and feeling how your whole body really starts to integrate into this beautiful amount of strength. So let's now, from the center body, we've already have that engaged. So now feel the bottoms of your feet. You've got your 3 little markers you're looking for, the tripod of the feet, that triangle. You're looking for too much weight on one side or the other. So aligning in the center, and then you're looking for too much weight front or back. Make your legs strong and not rigid. That means if you hyperextend, don't press those knees back. You've got a little bit of engagement in those lower thighs here. Shoulders drape, and then the tip of the iceberg, literally, just taking that throat back and finding the alignment of ears, shoulders, hips. You feel the tops of your glutes engage slightly, and maybe that big deep breath comes through. So let's just rest here for a moment in this strength of standing well. So grounding through the feet, and we ground through the 3 corners of each foot, and then again, just more subtly start to, with your eyes gently closed or finding a gaze down the tip of your nose. You're just checking in with, again, the weight shift from left to right, front to back, and into the 3 corners. Checking on that really powerful strength in the legs. Belly anchors everything, that space right between the belly, right beneath the belly button, those 3 fingers. Shoulders drape nice and softly. Head pulls back and up. And feel the breath expand your rib cage, all those tiny muscles, and then contract it back in. So we can stay very stable while we learn to have that diaphragmatic breath, and we can use this diaphragmatic breath, throughout the day so that we're not losing energy. And also when we're biking or walking, we're working on the diaphragmatic breath because our center down here is engaged, and we don't have a lot of breath moving down there when we're engaged. So we've got to learn how to breathe from our primary respiratory muscles. So just feeling that rib cage expand out on the inhale, finding that little pause, and then contracting back in on the exhale, and just feeling that shape change even though you are stable and rooted and strong. It's this dynamic strength, this dynamic stillness. And just a few more breaths here because it's feeling really good to just stand well. Let's take one more little scan. Where is the back of your head? What are your legs doing? What is that center body doing right there? That dantian, that essence in hara, in Japanese hara, belly, feeling the bottoms of your feet, rooting down, feeling the crown of your head rising up. Both things, shoulders drape. And then separate your feet, and let's take some windmills here, coming up onto your toes. Make sure you always come up onto your toes. If that opposite foot is stuck, then you're twisting your knee in an unhealthy way. So notice that when I twist my leg, my toes face my knee. And we're just kind of doing a real lazy one right now. Okay, grab your weights, and if you have heavier weights, get your heavier weights, or we'll switch them out. If you have just one set of weights, that's fine. We're going to do a little back work. So we're going to do some deadlifts here, and we're going to do it, you know, just with light weights. So when you're ready, you're bending your knees and bringing your arms forward, and then lengthening your tailbone up. Belly's up and in. And then we just come up. So we drop down, and we don't let our shoulders take us down. So we'll do a few more of these. You're not letting your shoulders take you down. Shoulder blades are on the back, and collarbones are nice and broad. So exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down. So we're also getting a little stretch of the hamstrings. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. So you might not feel a lot here because our backs are strong. However, we're just getting a little stretch. We're getting those upper arm bones into the shoulder sockets, and we're stretching out the crown of our head away from our tailbone and keeping our core really engaged. So just continue here. Notice that I'm folding forward in a diagonal, and my head stays aligned with my spine. So I'm not moving my head up and down either. So we're just dropping down and then rising up. Dropping down, rising up. We're going to add to this in a moment. Dropping down and rising up. So when you rise up, you're coming straight back into that really profound, equal standing, same standing pose. Dropping down, rising up. Now this time what will happen is you'll drop down, rise up, and punch the ceiling. And then drop down and come down like this. So let's do it all together. So start down just so that we can kind of get on the same page. Belly is bracing everything. Rise up, punch the ceiling. You can bend your knees, come down, and then down. So rise up, punch the ceiling, drop down. Notice that my knees bend all the way down, okay? So I'm bending here, punching up, straightening. My arms come down, I'm bending knees, and then dropping down and slightly straightening. So again, punching up. So it's like you're a spring here. So continue. If you're on a little heavier weights, now you might start to be feeling this. My weights are a little light because this is the only ones I have. Keep punching up. So make sure when you punch up, your shoulders aren't doing all the work here. It's driving from your legs, from your belly, and from your serratus. So again, arms come back down, drop down. Let's take 5 more. Think it's good. Punch up. And again, you don't have to go all the way up. It's wherever your arms go. Continue here. You can do it with me, or maybe you're on a different schedule. Really good for hamstrings, really good for back. So when your weights are down, your backs of your hands are forward. When your weights are up, your weights are forward. I'll do it forward. Just a few more. Nice to move, huh? Okay, keep your arms up here. Again, if you have shoulder things, you can be here. It's all your range of motion, all your range of motion. So my weights are facing forward and my fists are facing the wall. Brace yourself really, really well in your center body. Do you feel how your low back wants to take all the weight here? Brace yourself, squeeze your glutes together. Okay, now arms all the way down. We're going through our full range of motion, all the way back up. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, drop down. You may have to switch your size of weights here, by the way. If you had heavier ones, then you may want to switch down a few pounds. So again, don't let yourself, let me say it this way. Don't let your arms be the master of you. I know that sounds funny. However, what's going on is that our arms are moving separately from our anchored body. Our body is not allowing our arms to take over. Continue here. So good for range of motion. We're doing a lot of range of motion in shoulders today. So that's okay. Go where you can go. Go to about 10% less of where you can go if you're working with some type of impingement. And then, but let yourself do this. Because again, it's about range of motion. If we stop using something that isn't feeling good, guess what? It feels worse. Keep going. Good. And then continue. Okay, stay up here. Just for a second. Stretch out, stretch up, engage your center even more. Drop down to either parallel arms or a little bit lower. Hold here, draw your shoulder blades together. Let yourself lift with the serratus muscle and let yourself lift ultimately with your center, not your shoulders. If your head's rounding forward and going, if your shoulders are rounding forward and your head's going forward, then you know that you're not in the right space. So it's this really powerful opening across the collarbones. And then take circles. So we're moving thumb side back. Woo! Thumb side back. Check in with your feet. Check in with the three checks of your feet. Check in with tripod, weight shift, front to back, left to right. Keep going. If you've got to drop down and come back in. Let's challenge ourselves here a little. So you can feel your range of motion, changing a bit here. We're going to feel that. Okay, drop that down. Separate your feet. Keep your stuff in your hands and just let your arms take you around. So feel how your arms are a little bit of, gravity work happening where you kind of get a deeper twist this way. So make sure you're really spinning onto that toe, that opposite toe. Okay, come back to center. Arms back into a T. Palms are down now. Feel how different it feels. Let's do it. Face your palms up, and now face your palms down, and feel how different that is. So again, this is challenging. It's even challenging for me for 3-pound weights. And then let's take those tiny circles. Woohoo! Feeling it. Keep your legs really strong. Keep your belly anchored. Keep your glutes squeezing. Yes, it doesn't feel good. I'm with you. I'm squeezing my right toe. So check in with your usual suspects. Okay, drop down. Let your weights stay where they are. Take a big deep breath. Close your eyes. Find that resting place of same standing. Equal standing on both sides, front to back, left to right. Triangle of your feet. Very strong in center. Okay, now take your palms backwards. So you're looking like this, not this. Engage your belly. So what will happen is we'll draw our arms straight out, bend your knees, drop down. Straight out, drop down. If you feel like you can't stay anchored with the bent knees, only do your arms. So your knees are facing straight forward. They're not coming in when you drop down. They're coming straight forward. They're not coming in. So again, we keep those knees directly over and out from the second and third toes. Continue here. So when you come up to reset, notice where you are. And again, you can take this just standing if that's where you need to be. We're just adding a little legs and bone building here. Probably getting a little heated up, and that's good. So that tells you that we're in our bones. Check for gripping in your toes. Reset when you get to the top. When you're down and you're using your legs, rock that weight into the heels. Now you can stay up here or you can drop down. And then we're just doing small little bounces. Make sure you're not taking it too much in your shoulders. You're going to feel it here. However, you're lifting from your serratus. Keep your belly engaged. Keep your weight a little bit out of your toes, so lift your toes up if you can. Keep your arms anchored, head back. Okay, drop down, take a nice windmill here. Feel how things are really kind of starting to unwind, even with this strong work. Okay, one more time. Drop down here, lift your arms up. Now your elbows can be bent. That'll take you out of your shoulders a little bit. So it looks like that instead of that. And then we're taking circles. We're actually not taking circles. We're going up and down. Up, palms down. Palms up, palms down. Brace your center, brace your anchor. Palms up, palms down. Up, down. Continue here. Smile. Check your jaw in the meantime. Continue, just a few more. Okay, drop down, take whatever you need here. Maybe a leg shake out is nice. Maybe ankles. Maybe head side to side. Maybe that'll feel nice. Okay, now you can take your arms to here, see my elbows, which are near to my body, or you can take your arms to here. It depends on range of motion, and you've got all this in between, okay? Take where you feel unimpinged. So, we're coming up to here if you don't feel impinged. Okay, this is really, really powerful range of motion work. I'm gonna do it sideways so you see. My elbow stays right in line with my shoulder, wherever that may be. And then I'm pressing my weight down. Up and down. Don't throw your center forward. Keep anchored. Up and down. Up and down. Continue here. Up. We're gonna do range of motion on the floor. So I just am warming us up a little bit. Up and down. And up and down. Continue here. Up and down. Up and down. Okay, drop that. You can put your weights down for the moment. Take a little shake out. We're going to use those weights, so keep them close when we lie all the way on the floor. We're going to do some more strength work here. Okay, now glide walking. We're going to do our first kind of two poses for glide walking. So glide walking, we want to keep our feet in front of each other as we walk. So I'm kind of doing this forward and backwards. So our legs swing from our belly. That's what we want to start to happen. If they're not swinging from our belly, we've got to shuffle, we've got to turn out, we have all this lovely stuff happening. So what we're doing is we're training our feet to go forward. We're training the glute med here and how to respond and how to stabilize the hip. And we're also kind of training to swing forward with our leg from our center, from our belly. The leg swings this way, okay? So find the edge of your mat. If you're not on a mat, find something that is a straight line, whether it's on your floor, whether you put a belt down and step on that. And then take your foot and line whatever foot you want to start with, line that foot up with the straight line. So very, very, very intentionally, this heel goes straight forward, straight behind. You can see me doing this rather than in. So it's not like any ballet going on here, okay? It's a full tightrope. If you're doing this, it's gonna be too easy and you're not engaged in your glute med. It's got to be very, very clear that your heel is directly behind your second and third toes. Now bend that back knee and then take your front heel almost touching those toes and do the same thing. So no heel in. That heel is absolutely on midline. So already you're wobbling. Okay, put your hands on your hips, draw your head back, or you can leave your hands down and bend your knees slightly. And let your back leg wobble. So your back leg has a lot of weight in it. You're feeling it here. You're gonna start to really feel it in your ankle. This is incredible ankle strength. My front leg, I can easily lift up. You're not doing that. However, all the weight is in the back leg and it is intense. We'll be here for a minute. So find a place to gaze, settle into wobbling. Wobbling is so important. It's so important. It teaches us how to catch ourselves. It teaches us how to fall well. All of it. We need to know how to do this because of course we're going to trip. We may not fall, but maybe we will. And we can catch ourselves and fall in a graceful way. So it's about training our nervous system that wobbling is okay. And you can feel the muscles in your legs working really a lot right now. Check in with jaw and tongue. Check in with your head. Belly is up and in here. And you're really feeling this on your outer hip. That's your hip stabilizer, your glute med. And you're certainly feeling this in your shin and in your foot, your back foot. Belly is anchoring us. Deep breaths, shoulders are relaxed, tongue is relaxed, so everything is relaxed in this part of the body so that we can tell our nervous systems that we're okay, that we're doing this on purpose. Okay, come out of that, take a nice little windmill, let everything flop around. In these windmills, it's a nice little litmus test to see how much your spine has started to release. So good little twisting. Okay, take that opposite foot. I can't stress enough how important it is to get your foot directly, heel directly behind your toes. If they're not behind your toes, you're not getting the wobble. So not this, this. So again, not this, this. Straight, straight, straight. So take that other foot back. Front foot goes right to the toes, directly to the toes. Find that bent knee. You're going to find one more side a little more challenging than the other. And we start. So maybe you squeeze that back glute, lift up through belly, crown of the head is lifted and long, back of the neck is long. This is really good for any kind of ankle instability and anybody that has had any type of foot injury. This is really good to retrain the strength in the foot as you're feeling. And it's bone building, so that kind of intensity that you're feeling in the shin, that's your feeling. That's what bone building feels like. Belly stays engaged, nice and anchored. We continue here, gently dropping, breathing, not clenching, letting the wobble happen without the clinch. That's the profound key. Just continue that wobbling. Just a few more moments. Okay, good. Come out of that, shake that out. Okay, we go right back into the other side. So first side back again. Line up well. Take your time to line up well. You're not getting the benefit of this if your heels are not directly at midline. If you've got those heels in, then you are not in the right place. I know you're getting tired of me saying that. However, I can't stress it enough because what's happening is you probably think that your heels are behind you, and then if you look, they're not. So just make sure. All right, now bend your knees And then you don't have to go this far down. You can just go to here. And then we're just moving up and down. So bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Upper body doesn't move. I could have a book on my head right now. Belly's engaged, glutes engaged, shoulders are soft. Front foot is feeling the balance, however, it doesn't have the weight. That back leg is really getting worked. Continue here. So this is really good for glide walking because we balance every time we take a step, whether we're running or walking. So we want to strengthen that glute med, we want to strengthen our ankles and legs. We also want to get that alignment of our feet moving straight forward for the most part when we touch the ground. Now again, there's going to be a little variation due to bones and all of that. However, we're training away from our toes being turned out, and we're also training away from walking on this railroad versus a tightrope. So when our leg swings forward, what happens is it takes it right in front of the other foot. Okay, bend and hold. Let yourself feel that wobble. Let yourself feel the intensity in the leg. Finding a place to softly gaze here is really helpful. You're feeling it in the thigh, in the back of the leg, in the glute med, definitely in the lower leg. It's very intense. It's okay. Lengthen up, shake that leg out. We're going right into the other side. Do what you have to do to get there. Line up well. I won't harp on it. Line up well. And then bend. Belly up and in, head back. If our head's forward, guess what? Our belly isn't quite engaged. So we've got to take the courage to take that head back. Good. Bend those knees up and down. Notice I'm not going far here. It's very short. Then gazing forward, dropping your shoulders, checking in with the tightness of jaw and tongue and all of that. Deep breaths are coming through the diaphragm because our diaphragm and above is just very relaxed. Effortless effort here. Effortless effort. All right, this time stay down and hold. Feel all those muscles of your back leg working. Give them a little thank you. They're doing a great job. We just heap negativity on ourselves. We're like, oh, I'm not strong enough. This arm doesn't work well right now, and I'm so frustrated. Well, what about the rest of our bodies that do work? We really need to give a little more gratitude, myself included, to our wonderful bodies that are so intelligent and so strong. Okay, stand all the way up, shake that out. Now this time we're going to swing, okay? So plant one foot on that edge. Plant one foot on that edge and take your back foot behind you onto your toes. So we're gonna rock forward and back. If you see me doing this, I'm not moving anything but my toes. Now, if you have some toe issues, just come a little forward. This is how we walk, so we really need to rehab this if you have some toe things going on. Belly, again, is anchoring, okay? So you're just rocking back and forth. This is really good for the strength of our toes as well. So a lot of times I tell you not to grip your toes because that's a mental gripping. Right now we're strengthening the toes. Pretty good for bunions too. Again, rocking back and forth. Okay, so next time around, we're gonna actually swing this leg forward and watch what happens. The back foot comes onto the toes. Now, I'm not directly on a tightrope, but I'm close. Okay, my center of gravity did not shift forward. The swing came from my legs. So again, we're gonna rewind and swing from our belly. Come onto those back toes. Rewind. So notice I'm coming onto my foot that's swinging, those toes. Rewind, we shift the weight Feel how our back glute works. Engage it. Engage your back glute. We're going into this again. Engage your back glute. Swing this leg forward. Engage your back glute. So see how the glutes change. They're changing differently. Continue. So once your leg goes back, you engage that glute. Once this back leg comes forward, you engage the other glute. Okay, so swing from the belly, engage your glute. This is how we run. This is how we glide walk. And it's so much more energy saving, energizing, so much more strengthening and stable. We're just really a lot more connected than flopping around. Continue here. Feel how the glutes shift. The work in the glutes shift. So anytime there's a back leg, the leg is back, that glute's engaged. Swing forward from the belly, the opposite glute engages. Notice how much work I'm doing in my feet. So you may want to rethink walking shoes, or you may want to rethink running shoes, because if your running or walking shoes aren't giving you enough flexibility to come onto your toes like this, then you're not able to swing your leg. Okay, shake that out. You may want to turn this time just so you have the edge if you're using a mat. Same thing, different foot. Back foot, again, you're coming up onto your toes. Now, you're not, I didn't say this the other side because there's so much to think about. When you glide from your belly, when you swing from your belly, your stride is much longer. So notice how long that stride is versus maybe this. So we're lengthening stride. You can continue. We're doing some major things right now. We're lengthening stride. We're swinging from our bellies. Whoa, and you may get a little wobbly. We're using our feet how they're meant to be used. And we're engaging these powerhouses, our glutes. So back glute engages, swing forward from the belly, glutes shift work, back leg engages on your toes. Continue here. So stepping back, rewinding, back glute engages. You may want to put your hands on them to feel if they're engaging. And you want that anchor up and in, otherwise you're not swinging. Now, if you're going forward with your body looking down, guess what? You're not swinging your leg. Your body, your upper torso has to be ears, shoulders, hips. Just a few more. Jaw and tongue are nice and relaxed. I forgot this, I didn't remember it, so stay back with this foot and then just bounce. So we're learning how to use our bodies in different ways too. So you're just dropping the heel and coming onto your toes. Nothing's going on in the knees. This is not happening. It's that your momentum is moving forward and then dropping back. Forward and dropping back. Make sure you're not bending your knees. That's not what we're doing. We're working in our foot. If you have any foot injuries, you may be really feeling this challenging, and that's okay. I've got one on my right foot that's almost healed, but I really am feeling this in my right foot, which I kind of know is strengthening it again from after being injured. Keep going, few little more rocks. Feel how that back glute stays engaged. This is some really profound work, by the way. Unwinding how we walk. Okay, take that, shake it all out however you want to. You can take some nice windmills. Good job. And then lie all the way down. Get your weights on either side of you. And then once you're down, take your weights in each hand. So knees are bent, we're doing some core work, weights are in each hand. Knees stay bent, belly drops down and in, your back is flat against the floor. All right, now elbows are on the floor here. And then we're doing bicep curls. So just come in and then come all the way to the length of your biceps, touch the floor. In, all the way back down and touch the floor. You may want to switch out to heavier weights if you have the option. Then we're going to have to switch back because once we come out of biceps, we're going to have to switch back. Keep your core engaged. Keep that anchoring, pushing down. So I find that when I do arms on the floor, it's really much more aligned because I can keep my belly pushing down, and it's a little bit more potent as far as arm work. There's nothing else helping our arms here. It's just our arms. Just continue here. So we want to fatigue our biceps, or that's what we're kind of moving towards, where we're like, oh, this is getting not so easy. Keep that belly down. You can take an inhale in and an exhale out, or however that feels good to you, you can do. Maybe you exhale down and inhale up. We can add a little breath to that and just see. And if it feels like that feels good, stay with it. If you want to switch it, you can. Just continuing here. We got to keep our arms strong, all of us. That's where we start to lose our strength first because we're overdoing it with everything else. So we were just learning how to reuse and become introduced. Continue here. So you're going all the way to the length of the muscle, all the way up. So range of motion. All the way down as far as you can go, and then all the way up. So once you drop down, what ends up happening is your muscle has to work a little more to do that lift right there. Okay, this time drop all the way down, and we're taking some pulses. So just come up and down. So just these small little pulses engaging the bicep, inner arm. Small little pulses. No, you have not released your center body yet. Continue here. Check jaw and tongue, check your shoulders. So your biceps are doing the work, not your shoulders. Feel this in your inner arms. This really might not feel like, if you have any shoulder issues, this is good for you. You maybe aren't feeling anything here, except for engagement of muscles. Okay, good. Drop that down. Release your center. You can keep your weights right near you. We're going to grab them again. Take some windshield wipes of your legs. Engage your belly on the arc back so that your back is not doing all the work. Your anchor is moving you. So how can you think differently about how your body moves? A really good rule of thumb and an easy, simple one is your center anchoring you? No matter what you're doing, grabbing the sugar, cooking. If you're lying down, it doesn't need to be, right? Because your gravity is just allowing you to relax. However, if you're moving something, is your anchor moving it? Lifting your leg, is your anchor moving it? Lifting your arms, is your anchor stable and the primary driver? Okay, come back to center. Now, this is what we did before. So if you can see my arms, my elbows come straight out. Now this is range of motion. If you've got to come down here and take your weights. Now if you're only going to here, only go to here. Okay, this is about range of motion. This is an incredible way to increase range of motion. If you have the range of motion, then you're taking your elbows straight out from your shoulders. And then you're dropping back, engage your center. So that center body has to stay engaged. And then this is pretty powerful. So you might have to change weights, okay? So if you have 10-pound weights right now from the biceps, just take yourself down. If you've got 5-pound and maybe go to 3. And then engage your core and then press up. I know. Come all the way down. And then again, so here you go. Everyone keep working here. That can have full range of motion. If you don't have full range of motion, then I just want you coming to about 3 o'clock and maybe 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock and 10, 2 and 10, how about that? So you're just coming to here. If you do have full range of motion, I want you to feel it. Feel how your shoulders drop up and you're pressing into your spine here in your upper back. Now lower belly's still engaged. And then you lift up and then your shoulder blades come together and then maybe the backs of the hands and the weights touch. So good for range of motion. And then you gotta press up right there. That one's not easy, especially if you have heavy weights. Keep your belly engaged. Back is pressing. Continue here. Range of motion, strength. Press up. So again, if you have shoulder things, then you're just going to a smaller range of motion. Maybe you're only even going to 11 and 1 on the clock face. That's fine. Continue here. You may feel one side is a little bit more challenging than the other. So it's my left side and a lot of people's left side. So this I'm finding a lot of range of motion in right now, and I'm finding that lifting my arm from when my back of my hand is on the floor is challenging. So we don't really take this range of motion a lot, and we have to take it in order for atrophy not to set in. Okay, everyone stay at the top here. This time we're just coming back and coming back to 90. So you're going here, if it's range of motion, so maybe 2 o'clock, or no, I guess going back would be 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, if you have more space, go all the way back, anchor your belly, and then come back up. All the way back, where your range of motion is, anchor your belly, keep it anchored, come back up. 5 more. Drop down, check in with your jaw and tongue. Lift up. You should feel like you're getting really sore, especially when you drop all the way down. You may feel that way. Right here, it's a little bit pressing to get up. We've got 3 more. Dropping down. Lifting up. 2 more. Dropping down. Lifting up. Try to keep as much as possible. Keep your elbows glued to the floor. Mine wants to lift. So if it wants to lift, you know you have a little bit of strength challenge. 1 more. And then lift up. Drop your weights. Take a nice little windshield wipe. Take a nice big stretch, overhead stretch. Move your head around, move your shoulders, move your fingers and toes. Move your wrists and ankles. Maybe you want to move your jaw. Maybe you want a little windshield wipe. Maybe you want to lengthen your legs towards the ceiling. Whatever just feels good. If you know what happy baby is and you want to take that, go ahead and do that. And thank you all for working very strongly with me today. Really nice job. Working where you are.